Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story in which our OP worked in a call center and got a crazy lady on the line who only wanted to talk to an American. Spoiler, our OP is an American. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Lady demands to speak to an American, never says what language she wants. Some background. I'm an American that was born and raised in the South. It's an obvious dialect. Also, English is a second language for most people here. Language barriers are not uncommon. Years ago, I worked in a call center. It was at a large company with English and Spanish departments. I worked in the English department, but sat next to our Spanish department. I handled billing. No one calls billing in a good mood, but in general, they're angry with the company, not the rep. You calm them down, fix the issue, and you're off to the next call. Few customers are memorable, but this one I'll never forget, and I still laugh. This call happened on a busy day with long wait times. This just made the revenge sweeter. The call went like this. Me. Thank you for calling blah blah blah. Lady. I want an American on the phone. Me. What? Lady. I said I want an American on the phone. Me. Ma'am, I'm an American. Lady. I want an American on the phone. At this point, I can only assume I'm not speaking the right language. Me. Un momento, por favor. I put her on hold, transfer her over to the Spanish line, and just giggled to myself. But it didn't end there. The lines were starting to calm down, and I was chatting with one of the Spanish reps when his desk mate pops up and says, "She's got a psycho on the phone." It was the woman I'd transferred. She was going ballistic. The Spanish rep had her on mute while talking to us. I apologized and told her what happened. She started laughing, then looks right at me and says, "I'm going to put her back in the Spanish queue." The Spanish department had a blast laughing at this crazy bee as they kept putting her back in the queue. I don't know if she ever got her issue fixed. Then again, we never found out what the issue was either. She was too busy yelling at everyone. Moral of the story, be nice to phone reps. And our second story. Punt your sandwich to the ceiling and leave it for me to clean up? Enjoy your empty wallet. So this was years ago when I worked at a sandwich shop chain and was working my usual closing shift. I'd worked there for several years, putting myself through school, and I was very good at dealing with the late-night customers who'd come in, usually drunk. One quiet night, the store was clean. We were about half an hour away from closing. 4 young gentlemen come in, 2 are happy drunk, 1 is mean, obnoxious drunk, and 1 is sober and obviously the designated driver. They order their food and go sit in a corner. I'm putting stuff away and really looking forward to closing. They're loud and laughing like crazy, but there are no other customers in the store and they're generally behaving themselves, so that's fine. Mean drunk guy's the loudest and is saying a bunch of sexist BS, but it's not directed at me and frankly, I just want to go home. Closing time, I tell the guys politely that we're closing up and to have a good night. Mean drunk guy gets mad at me saying he just wants to stay and finish his sub. Knowing if I insist they leave right now, he'll freak out further, I say it's okay for them to stay while they finish. I start carrying stuff to the back and mean drunk guy keeps ranting, then finally says, "Fine, we're effing leaving," and stands up, takes the last quarter of his pizza sub, and punts it football style across the restaurant. I'm standing in the back watching the security video feed and kind of frozen, mouth open. They all laugh and leave. I head to the front door and lock it, then take a look at the damage. Pizza sauce on the ceiling, several tables, and the 4 of them left all their garbage on the table. But the pizza sauce is the worst, because I'm going to have to get out the big ladder and wipe up the splotches. Fine. I do that, then go to clean the table. Lo and behold, there's a wallet underneath all that garbage. I finish cleaning and take the wallet to the back counter and leave it there while I continue to close up the store. A car pulls up, and the designated driver gets out and knocks on the glass door. I go to the door and open it. "Hey, my friend left his wallet here. Did you see it?" I tell him yes and let him in. While I'm walking to the back counter, he apologizes to me for his mean drunk friend, and I walk to the front counter. "Is this it?" I ask him, holding it up. "Yes." "This belongs to your friend who kicked his sandwich?" "Yeah." Again, I'm sorry about that. I open the wallet. "How about that? There's $40 in there." I take it out, look designated driver straight in the eye, put the money in my back pocket, and hand over the wallet. Designated driver laughs, says thanks, then leaves. Best part of the story is the friend's cool with angry drunk driver paying a cleanup fee. I hope he played it off like, "Man, you were so drunk you were giving people money. Don't you remember?" And our last story. Entitled family tried to sue my department for millions. I used to be a supervisor for public parks in charge of lifeguard staff and pool maintenance. I don't know why I didn't think of this one as my first or second post, but in my opinion, it's pure gold. Around 2000-something, I get a series of complaints from patrons, all in the same family, claiming that they all got sick after going to one of my pools last summer. I do what I usually do in those situations and verify the water quality monitoring systems we have in place, go back to the logs for the period mentioned in the complaints, laugh it off, and go back to work. A few weeks later, and another set of complaints, this time stating that health conditions have worsened, that they have had water samples from the facility analyzed by an independent lab, and stating I didn't respond to the first set of complaints. After the summer season ended, probably around late October, I get a call from the city's lawyer. We're being sued by the family. The results from the lab came in. Our pool water was full of E. coli bacteria and other nasty bugs. The family wants a huge cash settlement, and the lawyer asks if it's worth going to court, if we had a solid defense. I tell the lawyer we can go to court, and if we lose, I'll have my own private insurance pay the amount we would end up having to pay, as well as any fines that might have come from the government. The lawyer knows me, and I had to deal with other situations with her in the past. She knows how I work and knows we have nothing to worry about just from my tone of voice. But I explain the whole situation. She laughs, write-ups a countersuit, but just for our legal fees. Thinking back, I should have said only, "Don't worry, I got this." I gather all the documentation I have, including the different procedure manuals I wrote, reports my teams have written, complaints we've received. It's a big file, but I'm excited. Our court date arrives, and I can barely hold back my smile and fear the judge will be angered that I don't take the proceedings seriously. The family goes in, explains that they all got sick, 4 adults, 6 kids, and 2 toddlers, that they lost days, weeks, or months of work. They couldn't wait for the public health system, I'm in Canada, so decided to pay to go to private clinics for treatment. They had experts explain the health issues the family had and probable cause for such problems. They had the laboratory they hired explain how the water analysis was done. Everything checked out for the family. Their story made sense. They were suing for multiple millions, most of that amount in punitive damage. We were a city after all. We put the safety of our citizens in peril. Then I was called to testify by the family's lawyer. I was asked what our water analysis procedure was. I explained that our system constantly records the water quality as it goes through the filtration system. Every few minutes, the different parameters are recorded, including chlorine levels, water temperature, pH, alkalinity, and about 10 other chemical markers for a total of 15 readings. I explained that our staff takes manual measurements of 3 chemicals as well as water temperature every 2 hours. I explained that we take turbidity readings once a week and bacterial measurements every 2 weeks. I explain our procedure when any of the measurements doesn't respect what the law requires, and also explain that we go beyond what the law for most, if not all, measurements. If we need by law 0.1 of less of said chemical, we're at 0.05. Then I'm asked if my staff took the measurements at the pool because the family claimed that nobody ever checked the water quality. I answered that my team did not in fact take any measurements. I was asked if our automated system was properly calibrated according to the manufacturer's schedule. I confirmed that it was not, holding back laughter. Basically, I agree to everything the family's lawyer says. Then comes our lawyer's turn to ask me questions. I'm first asked if I ever heard about the family. I produced documentation about the problems they'd caused in other of my pools in the past 2 years, as well as the number of times they were kicked out of the facility and the 3 times we needed police intervention to have them removed. I am then asked to produce the water quality for every other basin I'm responsible for. I provide the 40-plus binders containing the lab results we get every other week, water analysis forms filled by my staff, the water analysis documents done by our automated system. I then produce time cards for every facility except the one that was mentioned in the lawsuit. I produce documents after documents, answer question after question. Then comes the big one. The judge is very interested by that one too. City lawyer. Mr. OP, you've proven how diligently you take care of every basin under your responsibility and how well you log all the data that you receive from each facility. You obviously take pride in your work and the quality of the services offered, as well as the health of the community. How is it then that you're unable to provide any document, time card, report, complaints, other than the families, for that period in question? Me. Well, in 2000 and something, the park and pool were being renovated. They were not open to the public, and the pool had no water in it. The pool was basically a big hole in the ground for the whole summer. We only filled it for 2 days, still closed to the public, when we tested the new filtration system. The experts brought in by the family that were still there turned bright red in anger. The judge was clearly unhappy. The family claimed they had identified the wrong park, but their lawyer was already packing up his things and the judge wouldn't hear it. The city got their legal fees paid for. Were they an entitled family trying to get back at the city for having been kicked out of the pool a couple of times? Were they freeloaders looking for an easy payday? I can't say. All I know is there's now a nice big mark next to their name in our court system: attempted fraud. I hope the courts went back in their files and in similar cases involving that family were reopened. Now that's just pure comedy gold, in the best sense possible. Assuming the pool and renovation really had that bacteria when it was filled with water and this family swam there for free, they really can't expect to win this case. It's their own fault for getting sick, if they even did get sick. Though I'd say they got the water from a random puddle in their backyard and picked a random pool to blame. What a great thing when justice is on your side. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.